Welcome, everyone, to our first live stream broadcast of the Viewscreen. Today is Sunday, January 7th. Well, hello there, Kelvin.
Hello, Amy. Here we are in our normal Sunday evening, Sunday morning slot to present. And here it is, brand new year, brand new show, and we're trying something different. So, yeah, from a little idea we had on the train journey from London to Manchester several months
Yes,
ago, here
just
we are
this
with a
summer,
new show.
last summer, you came up with a fabulous idea for us to sit around and chit chat with about all of our favorite people. So here it is.
Here it is. So, viewers, the View Screen is your weekly Star Trek panel show, which was born out of the name The View, which is the US TV show with Whoopi Goldberg. We have a similar one here in the UK, and we thought we could do a panel show with lots of different features, all connected to
Yes.
Star Trek, and invite on our extended Star Trek family who we've met over the years and just have a little bit of a chinwag every Sunday. So, here
Yes.
we are.
Well, Calvin, we already have a couple people watching. Very nervous, but nice to have some friendly faces. We have Rashid. Hello. I got to meet Rashid when I was there in London just this past summer. So
Well,
good. So good.
it's nice to have some friendly faces join us on this, our very first show. So please bear with us. Everything is a little bit of a work in progress, even for a couple of old pros by us. We do miss our little editing button that we normally have on our
Yeah.
podcast. So be warned,
Exactly.
anything could happen. Okay, so shall we see what's coming up on today's show?
Well, we have Kristen with our Star Trek news and gossip of the week.
We then go into our book club segment. So I need to be careful how I say that. With Johnny, who's going to be joining us to talk about Architects of Infinity. Hey, Johnny.
Hi there.
And stand by your buzzers because we have trivia with Jim to spark those synapses with all the Trek trivia. And don't worry, you listeners out there, or watchers, I need to change my vocabulary, will be playing as well.
Wow. So, yeah, a packed show for our number one. Shall we get started?
Yes.
Right. So let's bring in Kristen. Hey, good morning.
Hi. Good morning.
Hi, Kristen.
Hello, Amy. Yes, morning indeed. Up here in Canada, it is just barely daylight. It is.
Yeah.
So,
yes. Cheers to that.
I do feel like I've got the advantage on everyone that it's like evening here. So I've had all day to prepare, and you poor people have literally fallen out of bed, looking sensational, I may add, straight into a live stream. So,
yeah,
Kristen,
my slippers. So,
yay! What have you got for us today? What's coming up?
oh, man, there's been a lot. It's funny. I was planning this. It's like, how do you plan for news this far in advance? So there's a couple other things I'm going to add in as well, but I threw a few things on a slide we're going to pull up here and take a peek at what's been going on in the Trek world. First and foremost, happy birthday to Loud as a Whisper, premiered 35 years ago today. Or as my husband so lovingly refers to it, the episode with Firebeard. That's how he remembers it. So, but when I was doing some research for this, it was really interesting that the actor who played Reva actually petitioned with Star Trek to have this episode and to do it and use his ASL. And after it aired, the number of responses that they got back that were praising the visibility of people with disabilities on such a huge screen was just unheard of. People were so excited to see themselves represented in a mainstream show. So, looking at the importance from a sociological perspective of what Trek has been doing over the past 50 plus years is really cool to see. So it's exciting that an episode such as Loud as a Whisper has aged so well in 35 years. And I remember this was one of the first ones in my baby brain back then I remembered seeing air, and I thought it was just such a cool episode.
This episode I actually used in my teaching when I did a small course on interpersonal communication. And I used this, like, if you could have a voice that was specific to, your power or your logic. So I love this episode.
I always wonder too, they left it on such a cliffhanger. Did he bring peace? What happened? Did they learn sign? I would have loved a little bit of a follow-up.
I think there is a Lower Decks episode called for a second contact there to see what happened after the Enterprise walked out.
Okay. Excellent.
And Kristin, am I right in thinking this episode like prompted you for a bit of a career choice as well?
This is my career. So I work with people with disabilities. So I have always been, wanting to support those who are needing a voice to speak for themselves in more ways than one. Sometimes it's actual verbal voice for them, and other times it's just through advocacy. So it was definitely seeing a lot of this, definitely seeing Troy in sort of a counselor perspective that really pushed me into the career that I'm in today. So I do have a lot to thank for to Star Trek for where I am today. So next up we have, there are a few people going off to space tomorrow, and they're being launched from where we're going to be going on our cruise down in Cape Canaveral. And so there's a few little names in here you may recognize, including Nichelle Nichols, DeForest Kelly, James Doohan, but also, and of course, Miguel Roddenberry, but also Miss Gloria Nolan from Vancouver, British Columbia. So she is my neighbor, 4 hours to the west. And this was a really sweet story that showed up on my town's local news, that a Canadian was going off to space. And I guess after her husband passed, she found solace in her grief by watching Star Trek.
Oh.
And so when she passed not too long ago, her family decided that what better way to commemorate her love for this series than to send her ashes into space. And it is the first time that these are being launched to be what's called high orbit. So they will never fall back down to Earth. They will be up in space forever. So that is happening tomorrow.
Wow.
I thought that was just so cool. And what a crowd for her to go with. Goodness gracious. So I wish them all the best. I hope they find peace in the afterlife, whatever that looks like, and that they have a great time cruising around where men have now gone before. So
That's so cool.
Isn't it? And it sounds like there's a sliding scale of prices. So they said that it starts at a few $1,000s. So if you start saving now, hopefully inflation doesn't go too much for space ashes, but we don't know.
Otherwise, someone will just have to throw me with a good throwing arm.
Get a really, really good slingshot and just hope for the best. Yeah.
So now we're going to pollute the upper atmosphere. Never mind. I'll keep my negative comments to myself.
Bring it back down to reality. All right. What else do we have? One other thing. Oh, yes. Oh, this is something I want to talk about. So Armin Shimmerman is now reconsidering playing Quark, which many years ago, he sort of said, this is it. This is my last time in prosthetics. I'm over it. Fair enough. You know what? Sitting in a chair for that long, having the headpiece put on, I get it. But recently, this week, it's come out that he is feeling different about it. So between him and between what we heard on the cruise last year with AJ Robinson saying that he's willing to play Garrick again and wanting to play Garrick again, let's go. Can you imagine a Pinky and the Brain-esque show with Armin Shimmerman and AJ Robinson trying to take over the universe or something? I don't know. My brain went weird places. Or the thing that I also heard just yesterday, so I didn't have time to plop it in, is Patrick Stewart has announced that there is a script a Picard heavy script being written. Let's bring these characters in. Who doesn't want some Quark and Garrick with Picard?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's interesting that Armin Shimmerman obviously put his voice to the character in Lower Decks last year. And Andrew Robinson has obviously released the audiobook version of A Stitch in Time. Love it. So they're putting the voice back out there, but this is, one step closer to the latex, isn't it? To get them on screen, our favorites.
I remember in the panel that was on the cruise, Keeping Up with the Cardassians. Brilliant name. All of the other Cardassian characters that were up there, they said, I'd love to be on Star Trek again, but as a human. Fair.
Mm-hmm.
Except Andrew. He said, absolutely not. I want to be Garrick. I don't care about the makeup. I mean, he's such a wonderful character. He's polarizing, if you will. But speaking of the Lower Decks, Armin did say the one thing he wore to keep voice consistency was he wore the teeth.
He did.
Well,
filming, wow.
Yeah, so that he would still have that sort of lisp with the mouth prosthetic. So that's the one thing he put in.
Tim's put on the comments there that he did actually sound a little bit different on Lower Decks, and I think there was a lot of chat on the socials at the time. So I didn't know that he was wearing the teeth, because I thought he was not wearing the teeth,
because he
which
sounded
explained why he was different. So maybe they were teeth, maybe they were different teeth.
Maybe they
had
were
a
different
sound effect.
Maybe he had some like Invisalign in or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot.
And 30 years. That news about the Patrick Stewart script that's come out in the last 24 hours, the details are still just emerging. So hopefully on next week's episode, we've got a little bit more around that. Sounds to me, early impressions, that it's Patrick Stewart himself has written the script. So it sounds a little bit, here, put me on the film.
Do you think that his script is being considered, I guess, as a priority over the others? Like, we want to see legacy. I think it was just because of the success of Picard season 3 that he's still trying to, ride the wave. But I'm telling you, I want to see more Deep Space Nine characters. And Patrick Stewart, bless his heart, he just wants to give us the Picard and Data show. And I've seen that. Like, give me Terry Matalas, who's going to be in charge of it, and I'll be on board. But I want to see more Deep Space Nine characters, because they have completely skipped over that show.
And with Picard season 3 having such a huge role of changelings in it, the opportunity was right there to have a crossover that would have made the fandom just freak right out.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a bit, don't get me wrong, Picard season 3 was phenomenal. I loved it. But there was a huge missed opportunity there.
Do you think that there is a need for another TNG story? Like, you're right. I feel like season 3 covered it, closed it, was good.
I honestly, the one I would love to see more of is Worf. He was looking good. Like, a little bit of a daddy Klingon thing going on there.
Oh yeah.
But his transformation from when we last saw the Worf character was so huge. And I absolutely love where they kind of took the evolution of his character. And I just think that an exploration of that in some way would be really cool. Plus, he was also a figurehead on Deep Space Nine, which leans towards that whole thing. Because his relationship with Quark was hilarious. So I would love to.
And we could get more Worf, as Tim says, like, put it in legacy. Like, there have been a lot of petitions out there, a lot of fan signing that we want to see this legacy show come out.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and you know what? I think as the actors start to see more and more resurgence in popularity for Trek, not just with as old folk who've been watching since the 80s, but also the new generation, the next generation of shows coming out, and of new fans, and intergenerational Star Trek families. Now the desire is there, and let's go. I would love to see Nana come back as Kira, bring her in. She's just such a wonderful human being, and she's so much to offer. That
she's amazing,
isn't she? She's just.
You're gonna get any arguments from any of us here on the show.
And anyone who does argue, I will fight you. And then we have one last slide that is unfortunately an in memoriam. So Mickey Cottrell did pass away recently at the age of 79 after a battle with Parkinson's disease. And he was Chancellor Ulrich on The Perfect Mate. So, again, may he rest in peace. But also letting Picard know she's single. Is she still bound to him? Like, is she still attached? If so, could that be a movie? I don't know.
Well, she's a movie star, isn't she, old Fancy Jensen?
She is, yes, and they've been working together for many years through X-Men. So that could be.
I think it'd be a bit icky if we were to see Professor X and Jean Grey going at it now. I think. And so
no.
Yeah. Wonderful. Great, Kirsten. That's so good. Thank you so much for all your news and trending this week. We've really enjoyed that. And Amy?
Okay. Well, I did just want to point out, Kristen, we have a request to figure out who are you and how did we all meet? Had the absolute pleasure of meeting Kristen on the Star Trek cruise. Thanks to Christian Carter, right? You know Christian?
Yeah, love Christian. Actually, my Facebook memories popped up of our 6-year anniversary of meeting each other. So he's very near and dear to my heart.
Yes.
Right. And we've got our other panelists just join us for a couple of seconds now. Say, Jim, Johnny, have you got any questions you want to ask of Kristen or comments on anything that we've just said in the news just now?
Not really, but although Kelvin, I did not need that image of Jean Grey and Professor X.
Sorry, can't be unseen.
Great. We have a comment from our good friend JJ. Says that Star Trek Legacy was going to go the same direction as Section 31 and become a movie instead of a series. Has anyone else heard this?
I haven't heard anything about that.
Okay. We do have the opportunity to grill the guys on the cruise when we go in a few weeks' time, because I believe they're all going to be there.
Yeah. All right.
Wonderful. Great. So, guys, you'll be back with us a little later on in the show. So we look forward to seeing you all then. But for now, thank you very much, Kristen, with the news and trending.
Thanks for having me.
Right. Okay. So next we are going to go into our book club segment.
Yes.
So we would like to invite back, straight after he's been taken off the stage, Johnny. Johnny, come in. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Good.
Johnny,
Welcome
thank
to
you so
Viewscreen.
much for coming on. I know that you are an avid book reader, and so when we thought of this segment, you were first on our list.
Oh, thanks.
And I had the pleasure of going out to visit Johnny and seeing all of his many, many books at his house. And this book, I'm very excited, is a relatively new one, yeah?
What have you got for us today, Johnny?
Architects of Infinity. It was published 2018. And there's a sequel to it already, but I think for today, we'll just focus on Architects of Infinity and maybe touch on To Lose the Earth, which is the sequel, a little bit. It came out, it's a paperback, Kindle, and audiobook, and takes place in the 24th century, specifically the years following the return of Voyager to Earth. I think that's around 2378 or 2380s, I think. But there's also a mention in the book that Barclay mentions that it was 7 years after Data perished during the incident with Shinzon.
Right, so it takes place after Nemesis, a few years after the end of Voyager. Johnny, do we need to put a spoiler alert out before we head straight into the information for anyone who wants to read the book but hasn't done yet? Are you going to be giving away any major plot spoilers?
I will not be giving away major plot spoilers, but it will be a little bit spoilery. You know, I think I'll try my best not to be spoilery. And if I catch myself giving away like a couple of the major plot twists, then I'll like, you know, phaser myself or something. I don't know. But there are so many threads in this plot threads in this book that, you know, some spoilers are not going to be as important because they're not really spoilers, but rather, you know, gives you a little bit about how the character develops along the way.
So tell us a little bit about the main kind of themes, what's going on in the book.
So in the book, most of the characters are from Voyager, and the book mostly explores complex moral issues, particularly focusing on themes of identity, choice, and consent. And you know, it's examined through experiences from Harry Kim with his relationship with, this is not really a spoiler, but with Nancy Conlon. So in the previous book, I mean, it's really hard to talk about this without giving away a little bit of information because some of the characters are carried over from the previous book and then carried over to the next book. And also the book examines some of these issues, particularly consent, with the characters of Ensign Atar Gwyn, who's a Creosian, and you know, which further draws aspects from the Next Generation series from the episode called The Perfect Mate. I don't know if you guys recall the Creosian.
Yeah, Kristin has obviously mentioned the in memorandum tribute to the character from that episode, the Creosian ambassador. Wow.
Yeah, nice tie-in.
Awesome.
Okay, so what are some of the plot points in the book, Johnny?
So there are several. Well, you know, so overall, they basically return to the Delta Quadrant under orders, and they want to explore the Delta Quadrant, and there's this directive to try and open diplomatic negotiations with the Krenim, but along the way they end up discovering this planet, and of course Chakotay, being Chakotay, decides to say, oh, we should turn this into an exploratory / you know, rest and relaxation for all of the crew, for the entire fleet, because there's several ships involved in the fleet. So they go down to this planet and they, you know, to examine the scientific mystery, but it kind of everything goes wrong, and accidents happen, and so issues come up, and they have to try and solve these issues, but then they face all these moral dilemmas while they're trying to balance out this great scientific mystery. And so that's kind of the crux of it. And along the solution, they have to make certain decisions that kind of cross certain decisions that get them to examine consent. Sorry, I just lost my thing.
It sounds really, because I know you're trying to not give it away.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that through. So part of the solution out of this problem they're facing is to get ask for Ensign Atar Gwyn, who is a Creosian, to donate some of her blood, but her culture prohibits that. So there's some ethical issues they're examining, and one of the characters we're trying to help is a character who can't make the decision. So that's where the consent comes in. And aside from that, the other plot that goes on is from another character called Devi Patel. And so she's kind of like one of the newer characters, and she goes down to the planet to examine this mystery, the scientific wonder. And, you know, along the way, she kind of gets herself and her away team in trouble. And once she's down on the planet, you know, she's like so wanting to impress the senior staff, particularly Seven, that, you know, she decides to do something that puts herself and everybody else in danger. So I'm going to leave it at that because I don't want to reveal the decisions she makes and what happens. And it towards the end, all these
so far what you've said, Johnny, I'm just thinking, Amy, this would be a great medical ethics subject on All Good Things, wouldn't it? Our other podcast.
Yeah. So, Johnny, tell me about the author. Who wrote it?
So the author is Kirsten Beyer. Kirsten Beyer is a staff writer for Star Trek Discovery. She got several Voyager novels under her belt. She was recruited because of her knowledge of Star Trek canon and experience was writing tie-in, like Picard Countdown. Kirsten Beyer, she's also noted for her skill in developing original characters and integrating them into the main crew. The characters like Ensign Atar Gwyn and other lower rank crew members play a significant role in the storyline, kind of reflecting a lower decks perspective. And she really does create these characters that you end up like really rooting for. Particularly in this case, would be like Devi Patel. She's a chief science officer on Voyager, and Ensign Atar Gwyn.
I was watching a Kirsten Beyer written Discovery episode only earlier this morning, the Unification Part 3. That was a Kirsten Beyer one.
Yes.
Yeah. Was there anything that was humorous or got you to chuckle in the book, or a little snippet you can share with us?
Yeah, so I think there was a part in the book where there were several moments in the book where somebody tells Harry Kim, "Control yourself." That one got a chuckle out of me because it was Seven barking at Harry Kim, "Control yourself." And I don't think that was the first time anyone's ever said that to Harry Kim. I think even Tuvok or the Doctor at some point have said it to him. And I think there's a clip somewhere of that.
I think we've got that clip if we want to play it. Have we got that from the control room?
Can't fix it in 3 minutes. You've got to try. I can't. It's not working. Why won't it work? Control yourself. They trusted me and I killed them. Mr. Kim, control yourself.
Nice. I love that when you're reading a book and you can hear the actors, saying the lines because the author has captured exactly the tone of it.
We've said this only recently on All Good Things about how we were talking about All Good Things, the episode, the future timeline is around the same time as Picard season 3 and how they kept certain aspects. So that episode, The Timeless, is set in the future and possibly not too far away from the point at which this book is set. So it's interesting that Harry's just as neurotic in both timelines.
So with this book, I, with what Amy said, how you can hear some of the characters in your head as you read, as you read the book. I think in this case, you can get to read this book over via paperback or audiobook or however you want to consume it. Even a Borg data node. It's very pedantic, but sure. I tried telepathy, but that didn't work. So I ended up reading the book on Kindle. And then I ended up reading the sequel on audiobook, which is, by the way, narrated by Kirsten Beyer. And at first I was skeptical that generally when authors turn narrators, that usually makes for a bad experience. But in this case, it was pretty fantastic. She knew the characters really well. She knew the inflections, the cadence, and the tones of how the character would say something. And they just made the story come to life. So I went back and listened to Architects Infinity on audiobook format. It was narrated by someone else, but it was just as enjoyable. Wow. So I recommend consuming it via audiobook.
Excellent, wonderful. Let's bring in Jim and Kirsten, see if they've got any comments about this book. And we can get rid of the front cover, the presentation there, so we can see our lovely faces. Thank you. So, guys, Jim, are you a big reader of any of the beta canon? Have you read this book?
I have a memory of reading this book, but for the life of me, I cannot find the copy I know I have anywhere.
Oh, goodness.
So some of what Johnny said has rang a few bells from you there.
Yes. Yes,
What about you,
and I absolutely love Kirsten Beyer as an author. Some of her post-series books going up to when they stopped doing those novels are some of my favorites.
Great. Oh, wow. What a ringing endorsement. Kristin, do you read any of the novels that are set after Nemesis?
I do. I am not the best reader, I'll be honest. And I do the thing where I start one and then I start another and then I start another. And so I'm doing 3 at a time, and it's not the best. Sometimes I get things mixed up, but that's just how my brain works. But this one, honestly, I am going to go and get it. But my favorite thing to do is to go to the thrift store and pick up all of these Star Trek books there. My local Goodwill has just shelf after shelf after shelf of Star Trek. So I just go in and just load them up and go ahead and read. So
there you go, Johnny. Job done.
Yes.
You know what Kristin said, that she reads multiple books in different ways. I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah, I am too.
I get some of the plot points mixed up if I take on too much. So I've kind of what I've done is I start reading one in audiobook, I do one paperback, one Kindle, and I feel like when I do different formats, it helps me a little. So, and by the way, you can get Architects of Infinity and To Lose the Earth, the sequel, at your public library in audiobook format as well. Well, particularly in Los Angeles Public Library and the Philadelphia one. I haven't checked the Vancouver Public Library. I have library cards in those 3 places.
Wow.
Yes, I love a good plug for the public library. Let's keep going. Yeah.
Great. Have we got any comments or viewer notices that we want to share?
I see Rashid mentioned that he's reading Make It So. Who's read Make It So?
Oh, I have not yet.
Oh,
Amy, I would recommend the audiobook because Patrick's voice brings so much to it.
I'm reading that right now, literally.
I'm waiting for Mr. Joe Keegan to... We share an Audible account.
Amy, you do know we're probably not supposed to say that live on air.
I'm just waiting for it to show up in my Audible account.
Excellent.
No, his most recent autobiography was just, I loved that it was so raw and honest, and he didn't hold anything back about his personal life, his relationship with his daughter, that type of stuff. It's so interesting seeing Patrick Stewart as a fallible human and not as this perfect Jean-Luc Picard. And I couldn't put it down.
Yeah, I'm only in the first couple of chapters, and just him talking about the strained relationship he had with his father is just as meaningful.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. Have you got any other comments? Any other viewer comments?
Yes. Well, Tim would like to know how we prefer to read our Star Trek books. I personally, I like to have it in hand. And now that I'm getting older, I do like the larger print.
I'm with you, Amy. I prefer a good old fashioned paper book.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I tend to read 50-50 Kindle and paperback. I think the Kindle is always with me. The paperback, it's a little bit tougher, but there are some novels you can't avoid, but just read the paperback, like Star Trek Destiny, the entire series, the entire 3 books. I was able to get in a kind of, it's not really paperback, but it's not really hardbound, somewhere in between, and that was really hard to carry around. So it's something you would carry with intent to read of where you're going.
That's a good point.
I know it's not one of the options, but I need to give a little bit of a shout out for the audio books. I drive a lot for work, so I'm too old for pop music now, so I just stick a Star Trek book on while I'm in the car, and it will get me from Scotland down to London. So that is absolutely
Oh my
good for
God.
me.
I want to drive from Scotland to London listening to Star Trek with you.
Right?
What in the world? That sounds like a lovely day.
I agree with Kelvin. Audiobooks are fantastic. If you're not, if you're not a speed reader, or you don't particularly like reading, when you're listening, it frees your mind. Instead of focusing on reading, it focuses your mind to imagining what's going on to being said.
Yeah. Well,
Unless you're driving.
Jason Anderson agrees with us, so well done. There's a fair few Audible fans out there, or wherever you get your audiobooks from.
Honestly,
Right.
I've never done an audiobook.
Oh wow! Do one on the
Wow.
flight,
So
the cruise.
I just find sometimes that my mind goes a million places at once. And so I worry that if I do an audiobook, I'll start thinking about something else and completely miss all the reading. But maybe I need to think about what Johnny said, and maybe it'll actually help me focus better. So I'm gonna give that a shot.
Kristen, I would highly recommend starting with an audiobook that's read by like Kate Mulgrew does her Janeway autobiography, and you're just you are in it. Your mind doesn't wander because you recognize the voice, so it's there. And I'm excited to listen to Patrick Stewart.
Yeah, awesome.
Speaking of Janeway, I know we're not. This is Star Trek, but I will say one of the books that Kate Mulgrew narrates, which is really fantastic. She gets to do all these different voices, but you can tell it's her. But it brings the book to life. It's called Nosferatu by Joe Hill, I think. It's fantasy. It's a series now, but it was such a great book. And and Kate Mulgrew just does a fantastic job. In fact, I've gotten people to start becoming Kate Mulgrew fans just through this book, her narration of this book.
Brilliant. Thank you, everybody, for your comments. That's been really good. And Johnny, thank you so much as well. That was so comprehensive. You've really done a job of selling the book there. So job well done. Thank you. Guys, we'll be with you later on in the show.
So still to come on today's show, we have our trivia with Jim coming up after this short break.
What else can you listen to on the BQN? Replicate yourself a mug of hot chocolate and join Amy, Mark, Christos, and Kelvin as they discuss everything and anything in the Star Trek universe on All Good Things. Boost yourself with an energy drink and join Davey on YouTube and Twitch for reviews and live streams of classic, cheap, and sometimes more recent video games on Bargain Bin Gamer. Brew yourself a pot of coffee and join Jeremiah to discuss Star Trek Voyager on The Captain's Couch. Mix your favorite cocktail and join Mark and Matt at Cinema Z to discuss the films you probably missed but should definitely check out. Pour a cup of tea, Earl Grey, hot, and listen to Stephen and Keith as they discuss the next generation of Trek on Galaxy Class. Get yourself something caffeinated and learn an interesting bit of history with Chrissy and Jason on History with the Zloggies. Have a bowl of Flomeek soup and join Thad and Chrissy and a guest to discuss new episodes of Star Trek as they are released on Infinite Diversity. Have something to sharpen your mind and put your Trek knowledge to the test with the Treksperts quiz. Take a bite out of something that didn't seem edible and join Kyle, Kevin, Amy, and Haley covering all things in New Trek, including that show that is Trek in all but name, The Orville, on Union Federation. Get your Sunday brunch ready for the Viewscreen, a live weekly talk show hosted by Kelvin and Amy with featured guests talking about all things Trek. Pour a glass of wine and spill some tea with Christos while he discusses current Trek news and events and explores the world of fandom via guest interviews, all with an LGBTQIA+ perspective on What's the Tea, Bev? And Patreon members get to pass around that green bottle of Aldebaran whiskey once a month on the round table, and they can listen to It's Green with Mark White and Amy's Math Moments.
All right. I am very delighted to have on our inaugural episode, Trivia with Jim, our good friend, Jim McMahon. Hi, Jim.
Hello.
You guys will definitely know him from Galaxy Class. You have done, I can't even count how many trivia shows you've
5,
done.
6, I think.
Yes. something like that. And now we've got you roped in for the view screen. So welcome. Thank you so much for coming on and doing this for us.
Oh, my pleasure.
Right. So, Jim, how's this going to work? Because there's an opportunity for our viewers to play along too today, as well as the panelists.
Yeah, I was thinking we'd try and do it the same way we did it on Galaxy Class, if that works for you, Amy.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, since you've always been kind of in fear of Kelvin's Star Trek knowledge,
Yes, we do.
he is going to be the scorekeeper today, folks.
Yes, and if no one else gets it, no one else on the panel, and no one, you guys on the chat, if no one gets it, then Kelvin gets the opportunity to guess.
How does it work with the viewers, participants? So obviously, Jim, you ask a question, they would type the answer into the chat column.
Yeah.
Typically, on the 2 times we did it, we would have someone monitoring the chat.
Yes.
I guess
we are
that'll be
doing that.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, either you or me.
Yeah.
No, I'm happy to take that one for you, Jim.
All right.
Okay. Well, let's bring in Johnny and Kristen to play along.
Now I will read up. Now I have both a video portion and a text portion. Okay, so we'll go with the video portion first, since that just popped up on the screen.
Oh, do we? Okay, there's.
How are we answering, Jim? Are we shouting out our name? How does it work?
Just shout out your name. Just shout out your name in the first one I hear. I'll take an answer from.
Cool.
Okay,
So if any of the viewers are speedy typers, and you get in there, I'll shout my name and I'll read out on behalf of the viewers so they can get the point.
That works. So can we get the images back up again?
Okay.
All right. So So I took these pictures from the Doctor Who franchise, which I am a fan of. Now, and these are all going to be Star Trek actors. You need to give me the name for 2 points each image. The name of the character on Star Trek they played and the actor.
Amy.
All right,
Okay.
Go, Amy.
Okay, that's Christina Chong, and she plays La'an.
That would be correct.
If you guys don't know, this is huge for me.
Yeah, and I tried not to make them too difficult. Okay, so once again, actor and Star Trek character.
Gosh.
We're drawing a blank on the chat room as well. I think this has got people stumped.
I wonder if
Yeah.
he's an alien and we're not used to seeing his human form.
Oh. That's not. Well, can we just.
There's a lot of people in the chat who are quite surprised that he was in Doctor Who too, but we're not getting an answer for Star Trek.
We've got it in the chat if they're right.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like they're right in the chat.
Jason.
Well done, Jason.
Yeah, he did have a name, but I'll take Icheb's father.
So we'll take a half point for the viewers there.
Very good. Whoops.
Well done, Jason.
The actor's name, if no one can get that, is Mark Shepard.
Yes.
Oh wait, Kelvin, did you not know that?
I only had the Icheb's dad. I didn't know the actor's name.
Okay.
Yeah, the actor's name is Mark Allen Shepard, or Mark A. Shepard, and his character on Star Trek, although he was technically Icheb's dad, was Lucan.
Yes. We'll give it to the viewers because that was a difficult one.
Peter, I love your term.
His alien form was more along the lines of the forehead of the week. Nice, Peter. All right, and now for this image, actress and Star Trek character.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, this was tough too.
Yeah.
I know it.
Great
Come
job.
on, viewers. You know this one.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's
This is
got to
good-
be something current, don't you think, you guys?
Yeah.
It's current. You're gonna kick yourselves.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, come on, Rashid. Come on, you're very close,
Rashid.
Rashid. Amy, stop looking at the comments. That's cheating. Come on, come on.
Is it
Yeah.
her?
You're in the
is it
ballpark,
really?
Rashid, but that's not good enough. Oh, Kevin got the
Kevin.
actress.
Oh!
Kevin's got it. It's Orla Brady. Who did she play?
Oh.
Come on, Kevin. Follow it up with the
Come on,
character really
Kevin.
quick.
That's tough with her hair up like that.
It is. The good old love interest.
Yeah.
That's not Beverly
we've got to
Crusher.
give this to the viewers. Between
Yeah,
Kevin and
I'd say give a
Rashid,
point to the viewers. Kevin from the top row.
it's Laris.
Yay!
Well done, Kevin.
I also would have accepted Talon as well, but Laris is good.
Mm.
Great, yeah.
Right.
Okay, what's next?
Actress and
Ooh.
Star Trek character.
I know this one.
Of course you do.
Kristen,
Oh my
Kristen,
gosh.
think back to what you were talking about, your theme. It might help you identify the character,
Oh,
if
she
not
was
the
the
actress.
one from Deep Space Nine in the wheelchair. Oh my gosh.
Wait,
I can't
say that again?
Remember the episode with Bashir and they had to change the gravity because she floats and so she,
Oh, is that
Wheelchair.
chrysanthemum or something like that?
Valerian? An Valerian?
Yeah.
Rashid has it.
Oh,
Rashid's got it. It's Melora Palzar.
Oh, what a
Yeah,
beautiful.
The
can anyone
episode
give
name,
me the
Melora.
actress?
Does anyone have the actress?
Come on, Rashid.
Any of you can also get it for the actress's name.
Yep, she was Grace in Doctor Who. She was the Doctor Who companion in the Doctor Who movie for Paul McGann. Are we going to do a countdown for it, Jim,
Yep.
before we give the answer?
Tim.
No one's got it.
Tim,
Tim's got
I
it.
think Tim
Daphne.
got
It was Daphne Ashbrook.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So we're
Right.
giving that one to the viewers. You are on fire. I love it.
I knew
And
this
then
would
there's
happen.
one more.
Oh,
Is this
He has
Schizoid
played
Man?
multiple characters. I would take any of them.
yeah, Schizoid Man.
Yeah. To know him was
Dr.
to love
Ira
him.
Graves. Oh,
Did it? Yes.
I get that point, Kelvin.
Do you-
Well, I'll
do you
share
know
it with
the-
Kristen. We'll get a half point.
half,
Give it
half
to
for
both.
Amy getting the actor. Do we? Sorry, the character. Do we know the actor?
He looks like a Ben.
You just have a Ben face.
Put on Kevin's comment.
Oh, Kevin's got it. Yay! Mark Shepherd Senior.
Wow, Kevin.
That
Well
technically
done,
is
Kevin.
Mark Shepard Sr. That's W. Morgan Shepard,
So,
Mark Shepard's father.
Oh, he's got
so
one of
is
my.
this a
one of my
connection
favorite
between the
lines.
two questions?
Yes,
So
he
the
has
two-
played
the two
multiple
actors.
characters on Star Trek. So,
Wow.
so Jason gets a point too.
Yay!
Oh, we have
Is-
smart viewers.
Yeah, his other characters besides Ira Graves and the Klingon Commandant were also Katai on the Voyager episode Bliss, which was the Pitcher Plant episode.
Yeah.
And he also played the Vulcan Science Minister in the 2009 Kelvin movie.
Oh.
He's got a very distinctive, very gruffly voice.
Yeah, he has a
Uh,
very
yeah.
gravelly voice.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you work well, you will be treated well. If you work badly, you
Yes.
will die.
And that was all of the pictures.
Well done. Well done.
We still have 5 regular trivia questions as well.
Okay.
Do we need a little rundown on the scores?
Yes, we
think-
do.
At the end of
Yeah.
round one. So at the end of round one, we have Johnny, you're not on the board yet, I'm afraid, mate. So Johnny is still on scratch. We have Kristin on 0.5 point, which she shared with Amy. Amy's on 1.5, so Amy's in the lead.
I
in
should
this
have got
community here.
2.
No, you only got the character, you didn't get the actor. Sorry, Amy.
Oh.
But steaming ahead with 3 points, we've got the viewers. Yay!
Yay!
Wow. Yeah. I have been beaten by the viewers before, so this is not new.
It's old territory for you, Amy. All right, and I was wrong. I have 6 questions here. I have a bonus text question from the picture round. All right, now you may remember the picture of Mark Shepard. There is also another Mark Shepard who has been in Star Trek. Can you name that character that one played?
Isn't that Janeway's husband?
No.
Oh.
That was a Mark, though, not a Shepard.
Oh, that's
Here's
it
the
an
hint. Here's the
Jim,
hint.
is it an actor or a character?
Actor. You're naming the character, but there was another actor named Mark Shepard, spelled differently, who played a character.
Rashid's
in
got
Star
it.
Trek.
Rashid has it. It was Morn on Deep Space Nine.
Yes.
Ah,
Oh.
Well done, Rashid.
Yep, or as I had it here, he had more appearances than dialogue.
I love how they refer to him like when he's not there as, oh, you just can't get him to shut up.
Yeah.
I know, right?
Yeah, the closest he ever
Morn-
came to talking was in Who Mourns for Morn when
Yeah.
Quark was demanding he start talking and then cuts him off.
Yeah.
But Morn as well has also appeared on Voyager and Next Gen as Morn on the episodes where they were at Deep Space Nine. So such a very important character.
Yep. That's why I considered him an actor and not a background character.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, now getting to the 5 main questions here. And these cover everything from TNG straight through to the modern day Star Trek.
Any TOS in here?
No TOS.
Okay.
And Amy is very happy about that, I can see.
Yes, I am.
Okay, starting with question 1. What episodes of Enterprise did not use Faith of the Heart as the theme song?
Oh, I know. Johnny, you go.
the Mirror Universe episodes. Wait,
That would
are we
be
talking about
correct.
modern? Okay.
Yeah, you're
Yep,
right.
I'll take that. The Mirror Universe episodes.
Do we have an episode
the-
title, Johnny?
In the Mirror Darkly.
Yep.
There you go.
And I think the second one was also In the Mirror Darkly.
Yeah, it was a 2-parter.
Mhm.
So everyone's on the board now.
Yay!
All right, question 2. What actor who had a major role in season 3 of Picard had a single guest spot in season 4 of Enterprise? There, I'll give the hint. Go ahead, Johnny.
Rene Auberjonois?
No.
No?
Yeah, I'll give the hint. This dipshit from Chicago was working towards reunification.
Well, okay. Read the question again. I'm
Yeah.
not.
What actor who had a major role in season 3 of Picard had a single guest spot in season 4 of Enterprise?
Just to say, the viewers have it. Kevin's already got in there.
Oh.
It's Captain Liam Shaw, Todd Stashwick.
Mm.
Well done, Kevin.
Yeah, he was the Romulan who was masquerading as a member of the Vulcan Guard.
Right. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that was him. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was him until not too long ago either. All right, question 3. What classic sci-fi film was Chris Pike watching in the pilot of Strange New Worlds?
Oh.
The day the Earth stood still?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, Johnny.
Yes.
I didn't know where I pulled that one out of, so.
coming back with a
exactly it.
vengeance.
Yes.
And we actually talked about this a little earlier. In the alternate future, seen in All Good Things, what university did Data teach at?
I know.
Go ahead,
Cambridge.
Amy. That would be correct.
Well
For a
done,
bonus
Amy.
point on this question, in this future, Data held the post of the Lucasian chair or Lucasian professor. 2 other holders of this position were depicted in some capacity on TNG. Name them.
Sir Isaac Newton. And I don't know the other one.
Same poker game, Amy.
Kristen, you look like you
Oh.
might know it.
I know. It's the I don't want to be
This
offensive.
came out in the Epstein papers.
In the wheelchair.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And I saw an exhibit in London.
Why is
Remember
my brain not
Manchester?
working?
I can't. What is it?
Come on, you know it.
I do. It's right here. I can hear his. Was it Albert Einstein? No.
No.
No,
it
it's not
was.
Einstein. It's the
No,
third one.
He was
Is it
on the Big
Kevin's
Bang
got it.
Theory.
Yeah.
Kevin's got it. Stephen
you.
Hawking. So
Thank
point
And
for
David
Amy.
also,
Point.
and our technical room also got it in the private chat too.
Oh,
A brief history of time. Anyway, I need another cup of coffee. Apparently.
yeah.
We're under
But you got
pressure,
one.
people.
You got that one bonus point for knowing Isaac Newton, Amy.
Okay.
No, but I would have
JJ got
considered
that
Stephen
at the
Hawking
same
the
time.
easier one since he played himself.
Yeah. Just to point out in the chat, we had JJ got that one right at the very same time that Kevin did. So the viewers are
Okay.
really going in for it.
Oh man.
And lastly, the Borg have appeared in 7 Star Trek series. Name at least 5 of them.
Shout out your name if you want to answer.
Like the actual episode names?
No.
No, the series.
The series.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay, Johnny.
TNG,
Right?
Voyager,
Yeah.
TOS, although they weren't really called the Borg.
No, they
they
weren't
were
in
just-
TOS.
No.
Sorry,
So
right,
let's
Enterprise.
let's do normal rules. Johnny's got one wrong, so we need to throw it over now. So Johnny, you've got 2 for Next Gen and Voyager. Are you giving it points per series,
Oh.
Jim?
Christos
Yep.
got it.
So
No,
someone else will get
Kristen,
the
you
rest.
go.
Well, Christos has. Or were they in Enterprise? I thought we just. said
Yes.
Yes, they were the
So
very
Christos-
first episode.
Yeah, Christos. TNG,
Christos has got
Voyager.
Enterprise, Picard, and
Lower
Lower
Decks.
Decks. So we can have 3 more points for the viewers there. Well done, Christos.
And I'll
so
list off all 7 here.
Okay.
We've missed out DS9 and Prodigy.
Yeah.
That would be correct.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Sorry. Couldn't help
TNG had
myself,
7.
sorry.
Yep. TNG had 7 appearances with Q Who, both of the Best of Both Worlds, I Borg, The Descents, and the First Contact film.
Mm-hmm.
DS9 had the 1 appearance, although it was kind of just footage only.
Oh yeah, is that
Voyager-
from Emissary?
Yes,
Okay.
but it was footage from Best of Both Worlds, I think.
Right.
Voyager takes the cake with 23 appearances.
Mm-hmm.
Enterprise has Regeneration,
Yeah.
which, although amazing, totally unnecessary if you ask me.
I agree.
Picard
Love
has the next record after Voyager with 14.
Yeah.
Then you have Lower Decks, which although they probably couldn't be considered appearances, but they are by Memory Alpha with 6, and Prodigy with 1.
Yeah.
Wonderful. So,
that's-
Jim, is that the
that's
end
it.
of the questions?
Yeah,
Wow.
that's it.
So, I guess we need some scores then.
Yes,
So,
Kelvin.
take it from. So coming in final place, but still fabulous, we have Kristin with 0.5 point. So well done. Followed up by Miss Amy Nelson on 3.5.
Woot, woot, woot.
Followed very closely by Johnny on 4, who came out of nowhere.
Yeah, you had an amazing come from behind there, Johnny.
Wow, I avoided the trap door.
Leaping ahead with the collective knowledge, many hands make light work. We have the viewers who are today's winner with 9 points. So, well done, viewers. Special well done to Rashid, Tim, Kevin, Christos, who got some of those answers in there, and Jason as well. So, well done, guys.
Well done. Thank you so much.
Yes, and Peter, I know you're out there in the chat. Thank you for helping me proof those questions.
Yes.
Okay, so Jim, thank you so much for that. That was a great load of fun and a way to kind of put everyone at ease in this, our very first episode. So thank you.
Oh, this was so much fun.
Yes, and thank you, Johnny, for your amazing book review. Excited to read that and the sequel. Don't forget that, viewers. And thanks to Kristin for bringing us the fabulous news. And I think I'm going to watch Loud as a Whisper this week.
There we go. Celebrate its birthday.
Yes.
Right, so we will say goodbye to our panelists. As we said, we would love to hear what you thought of today's show. And we hope that you'll join our Facebook group, the BQN Collective, to continue the discussion there. Please make sure you hit the like and subscribe button on YouTube to make sure you never miss an episode of the Viewscreen.
Well, if you'd like to help us keep all of our shows coming to you, you can become a member of Patreon. So please visit patreon.com/BQN to get all the details and watch your messages.
Speaking of messages, have we got any comments on the comments from our viewers there for this, our first episode?
Well, thankfully, we have new information being given. Tim Hands learned something new, which is pretty difficult because Tim Hands is very knowledgeable with his Star Trek.
And a big endorsement there from our good friend Kevin from Galaxy Class. Great fun, guys. Thank you for this great fun new show. Thank you, Kevin, for joining in and giving us your support. We love it.
Oh, so much. Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you to all of our viewers for your comments there.
So coming up next week, what do we have going? Do we have music? Oh, wait.
I thought we'd been thrown off there.
Yeah. Well, coming up next week on the Viewscreen, we are going to have again news with Christos this time. Lovely Joe Keegan's going to bring us a cocktail, which I'm very excited. And our special guest, Dr. Mohammed Noor, science advisor to Star Trek, will be ready to pull us over with science facts, and that's happening next week.
That's all same time, same place, but for now, thank you for watching the Viewscreen. End transmission.